Go live. We are live. Oh my god, has this day sucks in a lot of ways.
Yeah, well, at least we got it back.
I hope it sticks. Okay, let's
You should
see
try
my
the
little...
screen. You should try the screen share now to make sure it's going to work.
Okay.
You were supposed to do that before, but
Yeah, well. Share.
all right, there you go. Don't touch it again.
Okay, let me go back to this. This is my folder with all of the stuff. It doesn't have your recent stuff in it, though, so you're going to have to read that if you want it. It's
No,
just...
all you have to do is go to Facebook and then go into the group.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I just am scared of touching my computer. Oh, look, there's you with the black creators for the black book, even though you're being called racist right now.
Oh, yeah. Those guys raised a lot of money for Black Lives Matter. That was before it became a Marxist, hate-filled terrorist group.
Holy crap, that was for Black Lives Matter, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah,
So,
and I bought...
you bought a bunch.
I bought 10 copies of that one and 2 copies of the red variant. The red variant right now sells for like $500 a pop.
Wow. Okay, so just for anybody listening, and I hope y'all are here, I'm trying to make sure by looking at my phone that this is working. I'm sorry that we've lost you guys back and forth tonight. This was when we had our comic shop, and it was just so ironic that people were calling us racist, which they called us racist after this photo, I'm pretty sure. I don't think it was before, because you went to New York Comic Con. Remember, it was 2015, the year we opened that early summer. I remember. And then it was a year later after the election that they were calling us racist. But they didn't obviously know about this. You had flown to New York by yourself without me for like 3 days to go to the show. I've never been to New York. You've only been. And you met these guys and you offered them to sign at our store and promote their book. You took pictures with them and you brought the exclusives home. And then for the next year, while we tapered off the exclusives, you know, selling them out to customers as they would sell, we had a big whole section up there for nice show exclusives, and they had a spot there. We showed the black comic.
That's right.
And the whole concept of the black comic is that only black people have superheroes, and they were donating their money to Black Lives Matter.
Yep.
But we got called racist. So the people, this is the point, the people that called us racist, obviously, A, didn't know us, and B, never even came in our store.
This is true.
Yes.
But yet I'm a racist bigot. You know, that's how it works.
I think we got enough fire out of that technical failure to just be fiery about this. We were all nice before, but maybe we should just be angry tonight. Because the way that they're treating us, Mike, is extremely unfair. It's nepotism in the comics industry, and it's all in the name of social justice. These people like Tony Parker, which we talked to today, call us all of these names. Racist, bigot, homophobic. He called me a copier of art, a scammer for our show that we ran, and yet they know nothing about us. And here you are standing promoting the black comic. They know nothing about us as people. They attack everything about us to try to discredit us simply because we're on their wrong side of politics. But
another thing you can pull up if you go to your Facebook on your laptop. That's me being homophobic with Matt Fraction right there.
I thought that was Chip Zdarsky.
Or yeah, Chip Zdarsky. My bad.
Yeah. So they knew nothing about us. And it's funny because you're the one obviously being tolerant here of the black comic, even supporting it. But because you expressed some stupid tweet, which wasn't even very stupid. When I say stupid, I mean it was no big deal whatsoever. but he disagreed with it politically. He cast you as a homophobic back in 2016. He felt the right and the need to completely shut down your business, cancel you from the industry, cancel me from the industry, and troll us for the next year.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And
Yeah,
still came back trolling us today. This is you being homophobic with Chip Zdarsky.
yeah. And there's me and Rob Liefeld too. You know, the guy that slammed me. You know, we used to be good friends. I don't know really what happened.
You're on the wrong side of politics. That's what happened, Mike.
Yeah. You know, when I was handing money to him, you know, all the time, you know, everything was fine. Go ahead and pull up the next one I sent you. There you go.
All right. Look, but wait, quick. Look at my face in this photo. It's really funny. In the corner. I'm looking at you. So funny. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, yeah. That's Tony Parker, by the way. It just flashed to it. That's his Twitter. I'm now banned from his Twitter, so I can't see. But as you can see, Tony Parker, BLM, Tony Parker Art. Oh, you're right. Whoever said that earlier. I do have more Twitter followers than Tony. Tony Parker, I Draw Comics, God of War 4, award winner. Congratulations, Tony. Co-creator of Mayday and This Damned Band. Eisner nominated Inkwell judge and ex-college professor. Him. And quick, his pinned tweet is important to this conversation. Any table I am at a show is a safe space. We don't have to have met before. Anytime you see me away from my table and you need help, let me know as well. This can be at a show, at after-party events, setup, breakdown, or just walking down the street. Okay, but he is the biggest damn troll, one of the biggest ones we have attacking us. So he's got his own little safe space going on, but he's attacking the hell out of us. Okay? Let's see if we can pull up another. I don't know why it's taking so long. Waiting for cash. I see you just sent me another picture of you and 50 Cent. You know, so racist you are, Mike. Look, there's you and 50 Cent.
Yep.
Yeah. You just gave him a bunch of money, too. You bought his, that was for his effing vodka at his release.
That's right.
Yeah, you supported him, too. But we're racists, you know. And the whole concept today of why he called you racist was because this guy was saying that a white Karen, he stereotyped this woman he saw at a Walmart parking lot as a white Karen and said she probably is going to a Trump rally or a KKK rally. And you said that was racist of him to say that about her skin color. But apparently racism doesn't apply to white people, you know, getting discriminated against. So you're a racist now, Mike. Yep. And there's you with Rob Liefeld. And Liefeld, the one that slammed us, calling us scammers. There you are with him. He also took a bunch of pictures of you because you bought like 100 copies of one cover and 150 of the other, I think it was, of his book that had just come out. And we met him at that comic shop in California, I think it was, in that strip mall there at a signing of his. And he was taking pictures with you, with all the books you brought him. I mean, you had met him at several shows getting things signed. And yet he slammed us as scammers because we were on the wrong side of politics. And there's no other explanation, really. As we will all see, there's so much nepotism happening in the industry. Let me read these comments real quick. Oh, yes. If the sad thing is, if Tony Parker saw the stream malfunctioning, he would be laughing his ass off as though he won the argument because he's just obviously a nasty person. I don't know what else to say about this dude. That's Mr. Safe Space over here. Doesn't know a damn thing about us. Oh, here's someone who never went to our store. Haha. I don't even want to say that out loud. Our store closed, which, by the way, we closed because we were having a baby. And I didn't want to be pregnant and run that store. Logistically, we couldn't do it. We're the only employees. And I didn't want to have a brand new newborn baby and work behind a counter. So we decided to do something else. And we went into truck driving. And you know what? We made a really big grip of money doing truck driving, working our ass off. We worked our ass off in there and at that store. And during the show, because Rob Liefeld painted us as scammers, no different than EVS painting me as a beggar with, you know, no evidence to support that and completely unjustly, people troll, and Black Lives Matter and trans rights activists came to our show and our store, our retail shop, and posted stuff like this. 1 star, racist ass piece of shit. Dude hates everyone who's not white. Hang on, let's go back. Wait a second, what? You hate, what? You're right there supporting the black creators.
Yeah,
but, you know,
yeah.
Dude hates everyone who's not white. Oh, okay. Hates you if you're just getting into comics. Hates kids, all around good family store. That confuses me. How do you hate kids and yet you have an all around good family store? That's weird. It sounds like someone that doesn't even talk English. Speak English.
Strange.
But it is strange. We had, I don't know how they're saying that, because we had our kid in the store and we were all about kids. We've always been about kids. We took our kid to every damn show we ever did behind our booth. He was like our booth buddy. Again, these people just came. They never even been to our store, obviously, because that was all over our shelves. How could you say that when that was in our store? It doesn't make any sense. These people just attacked us like out of nowhere. People are nice enough. 2 star from our store. Might have stayed in longer if they were playing music instead of Sean Hannity. Oh, and I remember this one from Mr. Collon. That doesn't even sound like an English name. Don't buy anything from the seller. He is a liar. Can't spell English either. So I'm thinking this is like a foreigner. And cheat. He will cancel your order and he won't tell you why. Then he will sell your pre-order, that blah, 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 blah. Story behind that is we had a bunch of Batman foil exclusives at San Diego and our car got broken into and somebody stole a box. So we had to refund. I think it was 10. Mike, was it 10 books?
It was 10 books.
It was 10 books. We fulfilled what, 300 orders?
350.
Okay. And you can actually go and find our old eBay store, the Con Floor. That's the username of the eBay account. And we have 3,350 positive reviews.
Go ahead and pull it up. You can show them.
I don't want to screw up my computer, but I'll try. We have about a 99.9% positive feedback rate on eBay from all the comics we sold and shipped. They are so full of it. But again, this all came in the wake of the 2016 election, because these comic creators and everybody are simply biased against conservatives. Is it going to show my password as I type it in?
I don't think so.
Let's try that. Oh, come on. This is bullcrap. Can't I just go?
No, hit confirm and text me the number. I'll tell it to you.
Technology has just hated on us today, Mike. It's so frustrating. Okay, how do I get to your damn store? There it is. So tired of technology failing. Look at this. 3,350 positive reviews. And we stopped selling. This goes back. Look at this. Good buyer, prompt payment, value customer, highly recommended. All this. Street Fighter, Blood Blister, +1, Witches, #4, Outcast, #7, Kirkman and Azetica. Thank you. Great condition. Thanks. Great to deal with. Comic as described. Awesome seller. Thank you. A+++++++++. Harley's Little Black Book, #5. World of Tanks Rollout, #3. Couldn't find it anywhere else. Thanks. Look at all of these fantastic reviews. Excellent. Very pleased. Oops, quick shipping, not the best packaging, corners are damaged. It does happen. Oh, look, it was a black #1. It was actually that black book.
Oh, yeah.
But overall,
you know what? It was insured. So I mean, if there's a problem with it, they got refunded. You know what I mean? That's just how it worked.
Yeah, I mean, this is page number 2. Took over, we've shipped numerous unanswered emails before finally replying. Okay, well, this guy's just obviously a boo hunky because he posted this like 5 times, so he doesn't know how to use a computer. But look at all these other ones. Like, that's what you're going to have on eBay. You're going to have a few. But seriously, look at most of these reviews. Shipped quickly. Great seller. Great. Outstanding condition. Thanks to the con floor. Great eBay. Ship fast. Good seller. As described. Reliable. Fast shipping. Look at all of these. These are all positive reviews. So whoever did this was full of crap. This is it. This is the Batman. Canceled order and relisted again at higher price. Very dishonest seller. Stay away. Guess what? It's a Wonder Woman foil exclusive. What did I just say? It was Batman's. Yeah, it was Wonder Woman's too.
Yeah, there were Batman
because
books
they
in
got
there. There were Wonder Womans in there. There were Justice League. There was a few.
Yeah, they got stolen. They got stolen. I don't know what this is. 45 days from purchase and never received item. Maybe we screwed up there. But Cutter Skywise, that sounds familiar. I think I remember that book. I don't know. We're not perfect, but I think you have to just like look at all of these reviews. Item wasn't shipped until a week after payment made. No communication. Oh, come on. It's 7 days. Chill out. You spent $1.83. eBay will investigate seller. Changes term. No delivery. Okay, well, the mailman screwed up on that. Look at all these people in between that received their book. Oh, that guy's all posting again. Anyways, my point is, you can go through these if you want. 3,350 reviews. And sometimes shit happens in the mail. Sometimes mailmen destroy your books. Sometimes things get damaged. That's not entirely our fault all of the time. If you run an online store, you know that it's really hard work. But nowhere of this, don't buy anything from the seller. He's a liar and a cheat. He'll cancel your order and won't tell you why. I think we can honestly dispute that and say that this person is full of shit. Excuse my language, but I'm fiery tonight. The stars have aligned against us today, and we're ready to combat this crap. This crap from comic artists constantly dogging on us because we're conservatives. A public service announcement from Rob Liefeld. This happened back in 2016. Now, there's a very interesting thing in this thread. This is what was on Bleeding Cool Against Us, which really started the trend of Mike and Mindy hate. And somebody comment on this post and make sure that you guys can actually hear and see me, please, because on YouTube.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. A public service announcement for professionals that do comic conventions. I've been contacted by several pros who have been contacted by a guy named Mike Wheeler, who has misrepresented himself as being someone who purchased my buddy Jimmy J's amazing Comic-Con convention in Arizona and is claiming to have retained Jimmy's services. Jimmy has no association with this individual and did not sell his convention in Arizona. The amazing conventions have only 2 dates in 2017 in Las Vegas and Hawaii. I've received enough inquiries from folks who know I'm Jimmy's friend and want to stress that this individual has no ties whatsoever to Jimmy. And pause there. We didn't even talk to Rob. Why would anyone go to Rob? This blew my mind. The thing is, and I had mentioned it on the stream before, we made friends with the wrong people getting into this industry. They were all very, very leftist. And as soon as it started coming out, this was right by the 2016 election, by the way.
Check this out. I love how he says a guy named Mike Wheeler. Like, he doesn't even fucking know me. After I put all that money in his pocket, I've got pictures with this cocksucker. Like, he doesn't even know me. A guy named Mike Wheeler. Like, we've never talked before. Rob, go fuck yourself.
And we never claimed to purchase Jimmy J's show. This was all misconstrued. And we tried to talk to Rob. I'll get to those screenshots. And he completely shunned me. And I want to know who contacted Rob. Like, is he Jimmy J?
Fabian Naziaz sent an email to Rob and said, hey, do you know anything about this?
Okay. Well, I think he's exaggerating when he's saying that he have received enough inquiries who know I'm Jimmy's friend. Why would they even talk? This is the gossip. Why didn't anyone contact us? Like, why does Rob take it upon himself to talk shit when he doesn't know anything? And check this out. This first contact, the email in question that was in the Bleeding Cool article was Fabian Naziaz. It was the only email that they said that they showed as proof of us claiming to have purchased the Comic-Con. Every single other communication I had, I was very clear that we did not purchase the show. You could kind of vaguely misrepresent this one email, although I thought it was clear because I had just told him, Fabian, that it was our first show. So I thought it was clear. I thought everybody knew the Amazing Comic-Con had closed. I thought it was clear. But in that one email in question to Fabian, Fabian even says right here, I was contacted by him, but he didn't represent himself through any attachment to Jimmy J's conventions. Merely that he was planning to put a show, an Arizona show, on in August. That right there shows that these people are all full of shit. On Bleeding Cool, the email to Fabian was the one that they quoted as the proof that we said that we bought the show, which we never said. Never, ever, ever, ever said. Okay? Do you know if he is a legit promoter and can actually put on a show? Wouldn't want to block a date if it's not going to happen. Oh, look. Jesse, next comment, is doing a show as well, has been contacted by both. Contacted by both? We never contacted Jesse. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't think so. No one mentions Jesse. They're all being contacted by this Mike Wheeler guy. Why are they even talking about Jesse? Oh, yeah, because Jesse was running a show at the time. He was direct competition and also right alongside our names on the Bleeding Cool article, which surfaced not even 24 hours after this all happened, before we had even announced the show. To me, that was clear sabotage. I mean, and any one of these people could have contacted us and asked for clarification. Jimmy J could have taken the responsibility to contact us and ask or say, hey, people have been saying that you're doing this. You need to stop. But he didn't. Why? Because it didn't happen. There was a vague here. There's the first one. Okay, you could vaguely misinterpret this if you discard the rest of the email chain. Hi, Fabian. It's supposed to be Fabian, I believe. My name is Mindy Wheeler. My husband and Mike and I, in the absence of Amazing Arizona Comic-Con, are starting up a new show in Arizona called Wild West Comic-Con in September. We're hoping to have you as one of our featured guests. Okay, maybe I think no, that wasn't the right email, but this is the general email I sent to people. It was pretty clear, okay? These guys just out of nowhere kicked us out of the industry because what followed after that was pure nepotism. All of their friends, all of the talent that these people had ever worked with, then decided to not have anything to do with us. They would say things like, DC is watching me. I can't talk to you in public. You're on the wrong side. I can't talk to you anymore because I take Rob Liefeld's side and you're against us. You're the enemy, basically. Because of this one shit-talking post that has really no root in anything factual. This is the exact same thing I was talking about on Comics Cast stream last night that is unconstitutional. To throw out an accusation on social media to accuse someone of something and not give them due process. In the Constitution, it very clearly states that we have a right to due process. And these people, if they gave a fuck about America and how America worked, they would give us due process. They would have contacted us and say, hey, we think there is some misrepresentation going on. And we could have cleared it up like adults. But they took it to social media and aired it out. We got Me Too'd. We got Me Too'd. Here are people I've invited to Comic-Con. You will see. I sent these to Rob Liefeld, but he didn't want to read them. He blocked us instead before he gave us a chance to explain ourselves. These are screenshots. I said I have proof of me not misrepresenting the show. And they didn't want to hear it. All cool. We are going to be starting up our own show to replace Amazing Arizona. Yeah, okay, we definitely will keep you updated. It's going to be in the same spot in the Phoenix Downtown Convention Center. What do you know? Murat Michaels. Hey, Murat, it's Mindy. I wanted to let you know that in the absence, we are starting up a show. That's the same thing I just read. Hey, Rob. What emails? Oh, this is when we switched out to Rob. I don't know if I have the first one. And see, well, first, here's Jimmy J. Hey, Jimmy J. I saw you guys are canceling the show. Like to sit down, perhaps do lunch, start up a show here. If you don't, Jesse James will, because he did. We knew he would. We wanted to be first at it. Perhaps pay you as a consultant for the first couple of years to get it done. He said he'd be open to it. Great. Okay, so we were fully intending on hiring Jimmy J. We had not hired him yet, but we fully intended to, okay? So whatever, if you want to construe that as malicious, then be my guest. But all we were trying to do was put on a show. for really just our friends, who we thought were our friends. Because all these creators I used to go hang out at tables with and learn from as an artist. I thought we'd built relationships for them. We sure supported their books. We gave them lots of money. But as soon as this came out, they were no longer our friends. They couldn't have anything to do with us. And as time went by, secrets started coming out, more and more bias against us, simply because we were conservative. I'm not sure if I have... Oh, hey, Rob. Things are getting out of control here. This must be the first one. In no way did we ever say we were buying out Jimmy J. He says, "You're a liar, period. I have emails you sent blocking you. I apologize for the confusion, and I want to make amends." What emails? I have tons of emails sent out to contacts saying I am not taking over Arizona. Lose my info, he says. This is a miscommunication. I'm trying to find... Oh, this is a miscommunication which happened in a frenzy. Please, you took the time to bash me. At least hear me out. Bash? Ha, nice try. Politely informative at worst, says this piece of crap Liefeld. We said you're going to help destroy the show before it's already started. I mean, even started. I never claimed to buy out Jimmy J's show. All of this hate, and I've only ever done right by you. And I'm trying here to do right by everybody else. Kind of hard when no one wants to hear me out and actually have a conversation. He said, one more time, I'm in possession of your misrepresentation. I said, I can send you message history. Let me clear it up somehow. And I can. I have all the emails too. Guess what? It never ended up in a court of law, did it? Because these people don't have anything to prove that would stick. They stick to the court of public opinion because they don't have anything else. And I think that's it that I have for him. I think I'm missing one. But, oh, maybe we're probably blocked at that point. And this is the Bleeding Cool article. Fanboy Rampage, the Comic-Con Wars of Arizona, posted December 15th, 2016 by Rich Johnson.
Hey, we can't see your stream anymore.
Oh, great. Well, you can pull it up on Bleeding Cool yourself. I don't know what's going on.
Hey,
It's some...
Close out your browser and reopen it real quick.
Okay, am I going to lose the StreamYard?
You will, but it's still going to stay live until you come back.
Okay.
I'm going to stay in the room.
I'll be right back.
Oh, my fault, guys. She'll be back here in just a second. It froze up on my screen. Maybe it was just mine.
Okay. I'm here. Can you guys hear me now?
Yep, perfect.
Yes, Arrow. I'm going back in these comments because I couldn't even see any comments on my site.
Go ahead and share your screen again.
Okay. Yes, we had a comic shop. And it got trolled. Got trolled really bad, really hard by the left. That's the first reason I quit comics. Share screen. Share. Okay.
There you go.
Let's see. We're getting to Tony Parker here in a little bit as one of the trolls. Okay. Back. Bleeding Cool. This is what surfaced, which damn near destroyed us. It was so hard to take. December 15th, 2016. Notice that's right after the election when everybody knew we were conservative at this point. It really started coming out, you know. You couldn't avoid it. I don't know what it is about Arizona. Comics and widely differing versions of events. Maybe it's the sun. Amazing Arizona Comic-Con was a comic convention, part of the amazing line of shows run by Jimmy J. We recently reported how that show would not be held in 2017, along with Amazing Houston Comic-Con, but there will be other shows, and Rob Liefeld had some concerns. Right there, okay, how he just said we recently reported on how the show was canceled. So again, that helps my case here. That's my point, is that even in talking with these people, as clear as I made it, it was already all over the news that Amazing Comic-Con had canceled permanently. They weren't coming back. So I thought it was already clear. But okay, Rob Liefeld. Then, oh, look. because Rich Johnson thinks that Rob Liefeld's shit talking is newsworthy, even though Rich Johnson doesn't even call himself a journalist. There's his public announcement. So now it's all over the internet that everybody should hate us. It's cut off a little bit. It said something Jesse James. Oh, surprise, 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 is also running a completely separate show. So I don't know how that fits into this article whatsoever about us, but it just so happened that it was great to bash us, but push Jesse. The nepotism of the industry. Because Jesse writes for Bleeding Cool. They're friends. They're all friends. All these guys are friends. Rob Liefeld is a guest at the Amazing Shows. Jesse James runs the after parties for the Amazing Shows. And just out of nowhere, before we even announce the show to the public, this pops up. And everybody's attacking us. And it escalated. We had Black Lives Matter. We had trans activist groups coming in and telling us that
the cosplay community.
The cosplay community, people writing blog posts in their underwear in these nerd communities. And it's so crazy because you can talk to them and they'll go, oh, Mike and Mindy, they're all over the internet. You can just Google it and find out all about their scammy ways or whatever. But you can't. There's nothing on Google. I wondered for the longest time what they were even talking about because nothing showed up except for maybe the Bleeding Cool article. And you know what it is? These people are so high on themselves. They're talking about their own Facebook groups and their own threads that they're starting by themselves. They're full of crap. Anyways, but other creators confirmed being approached in a similar fashion. Similar. Oh, word of the day. Similar. This isn't legal litigation libel worthy. This isn't due process in a court of law. This is gossip. This is a gossip column with the pure intent of shutting us down as a business. Because everyone at this time, it got around everywhere that we were conservative. Fabian Nasieza quoted an email he had received from saying, "This is the one in question, the only one. This is my first one, although I'm hiring Jimmy J as a consultant, which we fully intended to do, as well as reaching out to a few other experienced showrunners," and it cuts it off. But basically, we said we were basically taking over Amazing Comic-Con in the context of Amazing Comic-Con had permanently died. It was our first new separate show, but we were still looking at a comic book focused show. That was the intent of the email. That was the message of the email. And like you saw, even Fabian Nasieza said we did not misrepresent Jimmy J in this exact email. So where is the proof that we did this? Where is the proof? Where is our due process? And not just a bunch of nerds slamming us because they don't want us in on the industry and they're trying to blacklist us. They replied, Jimmy J, outright untrue, Fabian, and thanks for posting. I have received emails, Facebook messages, texts, which said very similar things. Okay, well, if that's the case, Jimmy J, and you're on your phone, why aren't you talking to us? Which he never did. So this is the Bleeding Cool article. You can look it up yourself. It's a bunch of shit talking. And
he did talk to us. Because you obviously saw the screenshots where he had my contact information. At any time, he could have reached out directly to me. I'm not hard to fucking find.
And he's actually lying right here, too. Fabian continued, or Jimmy J is, but we'll get to that. I had an extensive Facebook messaging chat with him, and he comes across as overhyping a situation in order to sell the show he is trying to put on, for example. That was Fabian's opinion. You know, that we were excited, I guess. But still, I mean, he also said very clearly we didn't misrepresent him. So he's just baiting into the gossip. Jimmy J right here lies. Right here lies. Fabian, I am being misrepresented as Jim, he means at, or whatever, as Jim Lee and Neil Adams and others. It's a shame. Neil Adams, we knew personally and talked to him face to face about this show, which had nothing to do with Jimmy J. So I already know that's a pile of crap. But Neil Adams was one of the many that said, I can't talk to you anymore because of this gossip going around. And apparently gossip is more important than books. Gossip is king. And if you have bad gossip about you, like high school, then we can't sit at the same lunch table as you because we want to be popular cheerleaders with hot heads. And we don't support people who might give us a not sparkling reputation. And you are conservative. So, I mean, you're already trash, garbage, human beings, racist, bigots. We're going to all troll you. That's what it really is. It even says in this Bleeding Cool article, Well, it says, you ran the store Comic Outlaws, and it appears that he used a Facebook page to reply, no, we did not buy out Jimmy J. You said this because they blocked you. You couldn't say it any other place. This whole thing is taken way out of context by a group of people doing what they can to spread the hate without acting like human beings. A good strategy at best to try to eliminate competition before it begins. We were in talks with hiring Jimmy J as a consultant, but we never claimed to buy out the show. We have emails and message history where we let people know we were starting a new show in the absence of Amazing and whatever it cuts out. Well, I wasn't allowed to post my response on Rob's page. My wife got blocked too, although all she did was post a link to my response. But in response, Rob, although you say you were just informing us with facts, your attitude says otherwise. Also, Mindy wanted to respond to someone who complimented her art. She says, thank you. Does this seem like malice, Jimmy J? Now I'm beyond glad we didn't give you any money. And you posted all these screenshots that I'm showing now. Oh, little plug at the bottom. Jesse James says, hey, I'm throwing AZ Adventure Con, guys. I'm doing a small event in February and Glendale. No, I'm not taking over Jimmy J's previous show, but we are going to have blah, 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 plug for him. The heat is on. And in the second article that we had in Bleeding Cool, at the very end, it actually does mention our politics and say that, Mike, you said the word libtard. And, you know, that was very, 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 very bad, apparently. That had something to do with how it was somehow relative that on your personal page you posted, here's some libtards trolling me in the deplorables. And that was newsworthy, I guess, by this gossip journalist. Here's another false review of people who never went in our store after this happened. Because before this all happened, we had plenty of good reviews, really good reviews. But then these 1 stars started to come in as everybody started to troll our business and shut us down because we weren't allowed in the industry because we were conservative and these guys didn't like us. Guy is a effing loon. Seriously, Google search him. This is what I'm talking about. There's nothing on Google. Check his eBay reviews. We just did. They're great. He's an ass, a liar, and a cheat. Really? Where's the proof? Guys like him ruin the good name for other comic shops. Are you a comic shop owner? Because that's what I just got from that sentence. Are you our competition? Because that's what I just got. Also, what idiot doesn't allow kids into the store? We actually did. Ours was sitting there with us all the time. He was homeschooled. He was in the shop 24 hours a day. So you already never went in our store, I can tell, because there's nothing that ever said we didn't allow kids. We had a little sign that said, don't let kids near the really exclusive $high comic books, because one time we had a kid run down our shelf with his hand, go la 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 la, and just ran his hand through the comics, bent every single $high variant we had on that shelf. So we put up a little sign that said, don't let your kids please near this part of the store, not the whole store. If you would have gone in our store, you would have known that. If you would have walked up to the door, if you could read, maybe you saw the sign, but you weren't actually literate, so you misunderstood. But that was on you. My kid was there all the time. Who puts up a freaking sign telling people to go away if they don't have a box? Also, not true. I'm not sure where they're getting this stuff. We did have a pull box VIP program, but people were still allowed in the store. We would be stupid not to have customers. How would we even get pull box holders if we didn't let people in the store who weren't pull box holders to become pull box holders? These people don't have a brain. They're not using their brain. They don't have a brain. Did you know he would go to other comic shops to purchase his stock? Sure, why not? We always went to comic shops. We went around town, looked at them. And sometimes if we saw something that somebody priced, at $2 and it was worth $10, we'd pick it up. What's the problem with that? That's called a free market. You obviously don't like America. You obviously don't like free markets. Plug you back in. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Did you know, or how he would put flyers outside other stores to take their business? Well, flyers are so intimidating. Oh my gosh. I remember the flyer on my car door window for pizza one time. That pizza person was trying to take away all of my dinners. Whoop-de-whoop-de-doo. Yeah, we did flyer some cars. We flyered cars in the whole 2-mile radius. We flyered a bunch of cars because you know what? We had a homeless person kicking down our sign and people trolling us. And we thought maybe it would be a good time to move locations. So we did a little bit of direct marketing and flyering to see if we could get more business. That doesn't mean I'm stealing your customers. Are you another comic shop? Are you crazy? Because this is what I'm getting, is that you're crazy. You already didn't compute. Your brain didn't compute the first half of that review. Stay away from this man in his store. Hell, stay away from anyone that supports him because they must be crazy too. And there's the cancel culture in action right there. No one is allowed to be friends with us, be supporters of us, be customers of us because cancel them. Cancel them, cancel them. Seriously, avoid the show as Tony Parker because you did post a meme that was of a Down syndrome kid, Mike.
That meme is funny. And hey, I'm going to tell you something. You know, people make memes all the time. You know, that's why they're called memes. You go to these meme generator sites, and they are memes that other people have created. Okay. So you take an image and you add your own text to a pre-existing image that has already been uploaded by somebody else. This Superman retard kid meme has been used by thousands of people. Thousands of people, okay? And it's no different than watching an Adam Sandler movie and laughing at him be retarded. It's no different than watching a Chris Farley movie and watching him act retarded. Tommy Boy. It's no different than sitting there watching fucking what's his name? Meet the Fockers guy. What's his name?
Ben Stiller. Ben
Stiller play a retard on Tropic Thunder. You know, if you can't appreciate humor in life, you're a sorry son of a bitch. Because, you know, sometimes you look at people and you laugh and you're like, that's just fucking funny.
And, you know, we got a message actually after this from a parent of a child with autism or Down syndrome, and they said that they were not offended by this meme at all. They said it was totally fine. They didn't care. So that goes to show you that it's the type of person who wants to be a snowflake, a social justice warrior, and participate in cancel culture that even cares. Because we had people saying, yeah, that was funny. That was funny. My kid's autistic, and that was funny. I didn't even care.
And you know what? The people that run Phoenix Comic-Con, they're fucking about autistic. They almost got the Green Power Ranger killed.
I know, and we got trolled because we wanted to put up metal detectors to avoid the problem of people bringing in guns, and people were mad about that for some reason after he just almost got shot. See, we wanted to do things differently, Mike. We were competition, and that seems to be the underlying issue here. I'm competition with my art. We were competition with the show. We were competition because we also had a comic shop near other comic shops. Might I mention that there was a comic shop we did open fairly close to, but there were also like 6 comic shops along the street. It was the only spot we found along the street, but it was called like the comic shop row. You could go 10 miles and there were several comic shops in that area. So
DSG was down the street.
The Mill Avenue one that closed down before us, that also they trolled us too for having Trump pops.
They closed down twice.
And they were one of the biggest trolls. We see them here on this thread, I'm pretty sure, or at least we talk about it because they trolled us, and we were nothing but good to them. I went to their like a show with my art in their store. Twice I went to a little booth table in their store. You got them. You went out of their way to get to the owner. It was a husband and wife couple, a Lazarus book signed, gave it to her. She was so happy. She went, oh, she jumped up and down. She said, thank you so much. That was so nice of you. And he said, oh, no problem. No problem.
And she turned into one of our biggest trolls.
Yes, and then we found out there was a little Facebook group of comic owners in Arizona, and she had been posting shit about how terrible of people we were. And that was the last time we saw her, when you gave her the Lazarus book, and she was absolutely super grateful for you, saying how wonderful you are. Next thing we know, they're trolling us. Why? Because she hated Trump, and I was vocal about supporting Trump. We were conservative. That's the only reason why. We had Hillary bobbleheads in our comic shop too, and Trump ones, but she only focused on the Trump ones and said that we were raging evil capitalists because we were selling Trump memorabilia, and because we had Trump things in our store, we should be canceled. And these comic shop owners went around talking shit to each other about a store and the whole industry on top of this, Bleeding Cool, Tony Parker, Rich Johnson, Jesse James, all these people got us canceled. And then all those people I just mentioned, Shelby Robertson, who works with Rob, he got picked up with Rob on a title. Marat Michaels, who does work with Rob on Deadpool and all that stuff. He's close with Rob. All those people turned their backs on us, said we can't talk to you anymore. We have to take Rob's side on this, and there's nothing we can do about it, right? So Tony Parker, tell your friends to avoid this show. If you know someone tabling at this show, ask them to cancel. Here's cancel culture at work. This person and show are a blight to the comic community. Why? Because we sold Trump pops? Really? Because we gave lots of money to everybody else. Even Rob Liefeld, even you, Tony, we gave you money. And I was drawing things. How was I a blight? How were we blights? Oh, I know, because we were conservatives and we were getting kicked out of the industry. There are so many other shows, creators, and companies that are deserving of your time and money. And look, another Bleeding Cool article about Mike and his posts. Is this Comic Outlaw's most offensive social media post yet? Because being offensive was what we were. We were offending all these social justice warriors with our politics and our views. And that was enough reason to take our income and livelihood away, the food from our children's tables and mouths, because we were less human than them, and they thought we deserved to be trashed and booted out. And look at the comments below. Annabelle Annis, Amos, I'm torn between not giving the guy attention he feeds on like a vampire and wanting folks to stay the F away. It's a bizarre situation. And every time we tried to defend ourselves online, by the way, we were told that we started the drama. This Annabelle Annis is a character. She got kicked out of Phoenix Comic-Con for being too toxic online. Oh my God. It's probably a good thing I don't live in AZ, because I probably would have punched this asshat in the face by now. They're talking about punching you asshat Mike, in the face. So we were actually getting physical threats, and this got worse. We got death threats. We got people stalking our cell phones, leaving voicemails saying bad things about us, that we were bad people. When we continued to try to push the envelope and get some conservative supporters, because people did message us and say, we are conservative, we support your show, but we're afraid to say anything, or, we don't really talk about it because cancel culture. But we support you guys because you are saying something. And it was this whole, we're walking on eggshells, everybody's PC, cancel culture. We can't even be ourselves. It's really weird, but we will go to your show. And we tried to continue on and run the show. And then the convention center, we decided to go with a different convention center and tried to book it. And then there were people harassing the show, the convention center place, whatever it was called, that we tried to book, calling in advance, telling them that we were liars and scammers and not to run our show, and pretending to be people that had bought tickets and stuff, because we had tried to put up tickets on the show, and then people complained they were overpriced, and that they said we were trying to scam them because, like, it hadn't gone live yet. Or no, we hadn't booked the venue yet, but we had put up tickets. But fucking newsflash, you can sell tickets to a place without officially booking the venue. It was like a year in advance, and we were waiting to put down our $6,000 to book it. We were waiting to get some ticket sales in, but we were still having it. Like, that's what Jimmy J does, I'm sure. That's what everybody does. There's nothing wrong with booking out, selling tickets. It's like a crowdfunding campaign. You buy something, and then the book gets delivered to you later. There was absolutely nothing wrong with what we did, and they were calling us scammers for just even putting up ticket sales. There wasn't anything we could do that would make these malicious people happy, because they wanted us gone. Reading the comments. You would have punched this asshat in the face by now. He's such a douche. What the fuck? The only time I ever heard about this con is when they do something horrible. Yeah, because you're all talking about it like gossiping idiots. Absolutely shameful behavior. What is the name of the show so people know which event to avoid? I couldn't find the article. So now they're just spreading it everywhere. Spreading it. This is Tony Parker's thread, who we talked to today. We have been warning people about this show. Oh, this is Sean Ortega, another very big troll. He's weird. Since January, this guy is a goofball. His store went out of business because apparently his wife is so successful at cons and whatnot. He went to wanting to charge high vendor prices to free artist alley tables which is not true. We had a free Kickstarter. I don't think we had artist alley tables. I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about. And now a GoFundMe account for his convention. Yeah, the GoFundMe was to raise money to give to the Kickstarter creators. This guy was always high on himself, a super troll. These people have no decency to actually have a conversation, to ask you what you're doing. They just want to talk to you, or talk about you behind your back, like Tony Parker does. This is the same guy who sicked Trump trolls, sicced, S-I-C-C-E-D, Trump trolls on a disgruntled customer, then reviewed about how it was an unfortunate miscommunication. So I guess you said, hey, to a customer, we have Trump dolls for sale. And then that just threw them into Triggerland. And then they probably left a bad review because you tried to sell a Trump doll. And then apparently they all talked about it on Facebook. Okay, it's politically charged what all these people did to us. Seriously, I'd beat their ass. Okay, thanks. You beat our ass. I'm spreading the word to all of these special needs organizations with whom I'm affiliated. That's a lot of kids who will not be attending this show. I'll get you back in, Mike. I don't know why. We're having so many problems today. Okay, I'll get to comments in just a little bit. But like I said, we also got messages of people who were not offended. Such a classy dude. God damn it. Agreed. Thanks for posting this. I just saw the shot he took at you. Badge of honor, my friend. Because we weren't allowed to offend ourselves, right? I've been blocked for the past 6 months. Frack that guy. That's that Sean Ortega dude. Yeah, you know why we blocked him? Because he was a toxic troll that just wouldn't leave us alone. So this is already a thread of toxic people. Our culture is supposed to be the opposite of this. Our culture is about fun and enjoyment and geeking out, at least in my mind. Thankfully, I have only heard a few people that think differently. Now I'm getting to the good stuff. Their pot shots are hilarious. Apparently our pot shots are us telling them to screw off and maybe talk to our face instead of behind our back. He also tried to put me on a blast after he came to Geeky Leaks and asked us for support of his show, because Phoenix Comic-Con was failing. So we did reach out and say, hey, people, are you looking for a show? Because we're just starting one. And we eventually blocked him for being a troll who harassed group members and tried monkey marketing. So they also don't like capitalism. Okay. They also hate free markets. And then he tried to bash a mod for saying her comic store closed. That's the chick that was bashing us. And again, all these people bash us first. Okay. Everything we said was in defense afterwards. And sometimes we did call them idiots because they were, and trolls. This is the digital civil war that happened in 2016. And we were surrounded by no other conservatives, really. The conservatives that messaged us were all in other states, that supported our show. But everyone in Arizona, everyone here was against us. This is what I was saying in my live stream, was it last night, is that it's a totally different environment now because people are fed up with this. They're fed up with cancel culture. They've seen enough of it. But this is when it was really starting. And we were alone, totally alone. He had to close his own store, Karma. And this is when I hopped in. I was pregnant. And I had a miscarriage, by the way, during this time because I was so damn stressed out. Aren't you the one, I'm addressing Annabelle Amos, who got banned from Phoenix Comic-Con? And she says, oh, a completely unrelated situation. Oh, let's not talk about my toxic behavior online that got me kicked out of shows. Let's talk about how evil you are.
Yeah, let's not mention that.
Let's not mention that, which your husband tried to use to his benefit when he came in and asked for help with his show, assuming that our discontent with Phoenix at the time would bind us to your scam. So again, these people don't like capitalism. They don't like saying, hey, that show is having massive problems. Not only are they in trouble or something weird is going on with taxes, but someone just got shot. Almost shot. We're going to have metal detectors at our show. You want to come over here? It wasn't going to be as big. It's not like we were a direct competitor to Phoenix. We were a first-timey show. Why are they so concerned?
Oh, man. What pissed them off more than anything was the fact that I said that it was going to be artist-focused. And I was going to put all the artists in the middle of the show instead of at the back of the show like they usually are. And that all the crafters would be limited on tables. And people... And the crafters came after me hard because I said that there's going to be an application process for crafters, and we're not going to have Grandma Eleanor's House of Quilts in a Comic-Con. And then they created a Facebook page called Grandma Eleanor's House of Quilts. And they started trolling us from that. Because some of the shit I say is so catchy, people want to be a part of it. So they create it and they take it and they use it, which is cool. It's kind of like having a fan. I enjoy it.
And they called us elitists for that. Remember, there's that racist, bigot, elitist. There was that elitist word in there because you wanted crafters to be on different tables or whatever.
Yeah, I was going to offer the Artist Alley tables completely free, but I was going to charge the crafters.
Oh,
and
right.
The crafters were going to be on the outside of the show with the artists on the center. And there was going to be an application process for crafters. Not any crafter who bought a table could just buy a table and get in. They would have to be determined worthy for the show. That way there wouldn't be like a guy sitting there pressing buttons, taking up valuable e-commerce space, making $5,000-$6,000 in the show by selling fucking buttons of other people's work when the creators because I've been seeing this happen. There's the button man. I'm gonna tell you about the button man. The button man has an inkjet printer behind his table, and he will print out all these buttons, little circles of all these creators who are in the fucking show sometimes. Just print out their work and make money off of it by pressing buttons and selling them to people for $1, $2 a piece. While there's the artist who created the fucking character in the center of the show floor not making shit. There's a guy pressing buttons making money off the backs of these artists. And I said, I'm not having that at my fucking show. It's not going to happen.
But they called us elitists for that. And on top of it, we were also racist, everything else, bigots, everything going on with Trump, Nazis maybe sometimes. A different flavor of the week. She said, and despite my ban, so I guess she got banned from Phoenix. I still encourage people to attend Phoenix. I would never encourage them to do the same with you. And I said, LOL, okay, because I know she's crazy. And she said, well, now that I have you here, let's get back to one topic at hand. As someone who has had critique of Phoenix in the past, I have never had to stoop as low as this. And she showed your most offensive post yet. Do you support your husband's creation of the meme? Why didn't you immediately look and say, what the fuck, sweetie? And she said, but he gleefully shared it on a professional page representing you. I said, you were once banned from Phoenix Comic-Con for talking way too much shit. Obviously, you weren't acting professional enough for them to keep you around. Ha ha ha. I don't like having conversations with people who have such a high level of toxicity, which I didn't. And I was so stressed out at the time. Like I said, I had a miscarriage at the time. Or a little bit before this, around that time. And just so you know, we decided to close the store because we were expecting a baby, not for lack of business. Have a good day. I was so done with it. I would wake up in the morning and see all these threats in our inbox and see all these people talking these toxic threads. I was so done with talking to these jerks.
You got to get to Tony's stuff that happened.
Okay, it's coming. Okay, again, you're trying to draw away from your actions. I already discussed my situation in depth, blah, 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 blah. And then Tony says, violence is not an answer. Let them make their statements and then they can stand by them. The rest will take care of itself. And they talk about how I'm pregnant. But right here, it's another conservative bias. I caught it in Sean's post. Yep, Sean Artiga down here says, Anna, I agree. Hard not to call him out for being a dick about this, but he had nothing but positive reasons as to why he decided to close his shop. He didn't need to open the shop because of all the winning that was going on. Too busy making conventions great again. They're all biased. All right. And I said, blah, 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 blah. Sean, Tony Parker, Annabelle, I'm not participating in this conversation. All of you are not innocent. All of you have attacked Mike online first, and viciously so, before he ever did anything or said anything about you. Just because you disagree with things he says or does not give you a justified or respectable cause to go around bashing someone online like high school gossipers, especially to the extent and depth at which all of you three have done. It has been months and months of all of you running your mouths. You should be ashamed that that's the type of people that you are. Annabelle and Tony, he actively supported and praised you and you rewarded him by attacking him. Sean, you've been a troll following us for months now with nothing but toxic words. I have nothing good to say to any of you, so I will use the respect that I learned as a human being and just not say anything more at all. You do not have my respect, nor do I owe you my time of day. Good night. So that was Tony back in 2016. Tony, talk to you again. Oh, man, I got to go find it. We're missing comments. Mike, why don't you read the comments and answer some of them while I find this stuff?
Let me see. Where did you leave off?
I don't know. Just go back a little ways.
All right. Let's see. In New York, no one ever complains about the Shin Yu performance, which I'm sick of seeing, to be honest. But whatever, they do them. There's another one I've learned in this life. It's not about the person affected by the issue, like autism or so on. It's the people who deal with the person with diseases or are the snowflakes.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Again, for the 2016 election, I always suggested a blue and red tip jar. That's the conservative life, yo. I can't even be myself. I feel like I won't be able to be myself when I go to something.
Wow. That's powerful.
Most snowflakes won't fight. They will use items and weapons, but I bet Mike can take them. This is true. Why do people hate safety, yo?
Just because they hate everything that just proves them to be stupid. That's all. Are those the comments?
That's it.
All right, so this is the thread that you talked to this dude, I guess, who is friends with Tony Parker. He said, I finally saw a Karen in action today at my Walmart. Her convertible was blocked in by buggies being brought in. She rammed the buggies and almost hit black young worker boy while braking the mule, which pushes the buggy, probably on her way to a KKK or Trump rally. And you said, so let me get this straight.
You should really read all of this. Like, go into the comments and also read, like, all the way down. Sure. This is fantastic.
Yeah. Why don't you read yours and I'll read the dudes?
All right. I said, so let me get this straight. You looked at the color of the lady's skin and you prejudged her and determined she was on her way to a KKK or Trump rally. So what? Are you on the way to a watermelon patch or what? Which statement is any less racist? Go. Okay, so right there, I'm using him, what he said. That's one example. And then I'm making up another example saying, so what? Are you on the way? I'm not telling him that. That's just an example of a racist statement. You know what I'm saying? He understood it.
Here, you're giving an example of bad behavior of both ways.
Yeah, it's just an example. Now, this is a little small. I can't really read it from my side. Let me see. Okay, yeah. That's it. And then you go into what he says.
He said, I have lived in the most pro-Trump state in country on and off for 20 plus years. I can tell a redneck racist when I see one.
Whoa. A redneck? That's racist?
That's stereotyping, yes.
And racist.
Yeah. Our cameras in the parking lot will put her in place. She almost hit a black associate and damaged Walmart property. He mentioned twice now that the associate that she almost hit was black. So apparently he really cares about skin color, I guess.
He loves skin color. This guy is why I said, sounds like you're the one that's a little bit racist.
All right, let's try to go back to the next one. All right. Can you read that?
Oh, yeah, I can zoom in. Actually, it's him talking.
Oh, Latinos eat more watermelon than blacks. Also, the KKK is very big in Alabama and very active. Also, the KKK or Trump rally was a joke on my post to make it sound even funnier. I'm going to prejudge you right now as a Trump supporter. Am I correct?
Nope. I fucking hate Trump. 90% of the time, I don't like him. I was for Ted Cruz. I love Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is my dude. I'm from Texas. Now, hang on. Let's back it up a little bit, though. Look what he said right there. Latinos eat more watermelon than blacks. Now he's being racist against Latinos.
Is there a statistic that says how much watermelon each race of people eat? Should we chart how much food?
I don't know where he's getting this, but regardless, you don't go around saying, God damn, this watermelon Mexican right there. What's wrong with you?
He really likes skin color, Mike. We already know this. He's mentioned two blacks.
I'm trying to teach the man just a little something here. And I said, you see, the problem with you comparing a white person who you know nothing about going to a Trump rally or a KKK meeting, which is horrible. The KKK, they killed thousands of black people. They used to have lynching parties, okay? Like, this is a horrible group. They murdered people.
And they're Democratic, by the way, at their core.
Yes, all Democrats. You know, started by Robert Byrd. Now, whether or not it's a joke doesn't make it any less hurtful. You know, saying it is a joke is just saying that it is a joke is just a poor man's cop-out. It's no more appropriate for you to do that than for someone to make a preconception about yourself. You can't fight racism with more racism.
Well, see, that's where you're going to have a problem there, having any sort of logical conversation moving forward. He says, now he's trying to throw stuff on you because he can't actually answer that question. Do you believe BLM is a racist black terrorist group? Oh, he has to say black because, you know, he really likes skin color.
Loves the skin color.
He loves the skin color. Do you believe Antifa is worse than KKK?
And I said, we're not talking about my beliefs. We're talking about you labeling a white woman as someone who would go to a Trump rally or a KKK meeting. Stop trying to pivot from your racism.
And this Brandon Nebbit guy chimes in and said, Mike Wheeler is definitely an all lives matter guy. Because that's so bad, you know, thinking that everybody's life should matter instead of just one race of people's lives mattering. Go ahead, Mike.
And then I said, is it Black Lives Matter? Or is it Black Lives get to say whatever the fuck they want about white people? Which is it here?
Oh, stop, Mike. Oh, stop. You're offending me now. Stop it with that offensive social media stuff. You say, I'm honestly just trying.
Yeah, I said, I'm honestly just trying to find out the degree of racist you are.
Yes, because people have said that to us now. They said, well, you're white, so you are racist. It's just the degree of racist that you are with your white privilege. This guy says, Mike, I'm the furthest thing from racist. My best friend in the world is a white Italian I've known for over...
White Italian. Italian.
Yes. It's funny because this whole, I have a best friend of a different skin color has actually been in books about white people. I remember one about 10 years ago talking to somebody about books that observed white people and said that they like to collect people from other races to tout that they're not racist. And I thought, well, that's a weird subject for a book, and I never read any further. But now this guy, it's funny, he's doing the same thing. He's a black person, but he's not racist because he has a white Italian friend. Along with several other nationalities, faiths, and creeds, white privilege is being exposed right now. Defending Karens is a thing of the past. We defend truth now. Oh, it's our truth that we're racist as white people. You shouldn't get so bent out of shape from my opinion on my own post that was formulated by what I saw in my own environment. We should tell that to Tony Parker. Uh-huh. What do you think? If you
I think you're going to take a piss. Time out 2 minutes.
Okay. Once I'm done with this conversation, I'll go back into the comments and read them. I know I'm missing them, and I'm sad that I can't see them right now. Sorry, guys. But Tony Parker is about to enter here, and then the conversation speeds up a little bit. And then it's just been a trying day. I get stressed a little bit.
4 beers in me, I got to piss about every 30 minutes.
Okay, you feel better now?
I do.
Okay. Continuing. If you see a group of black men, oh, I'm sorry. Here we go again with the color of the skin. Black men with hip-hop gear on and hoodies at night with gold chains and loud music playing, walking past a white solo girl. This dude says more skin colors than anybody I've ever seen. Oh, with
like
blonde hair and blue eyes. With blonde hair and blue eyes, nonetheless. Would you consider this group a threat to the girl?
I said not at all, because I'm not a racist. But apparently you're not only racist against white people, you're also racist against your own race by even forming that hypothesis.
Damn.
Yeah.
He says your psychobabble is not working. Your psychobabble is not working.
Yeah, it's psychobabble. I said, what's psychobabble, man? You're the one talking here. I said, you straight up came up with a scenario that was racist as shit against black people, and you are black. That's fucking deep, bro. I said, well, I'm done with your absurdities. Have a good night.
You're right. That came out of his head, not yours.
That's right.
Totally did. And now here comes Tony Parker to save the day with social justice. That's what she said to this dude. Jeffrey Campbell, by the way, comes and says, you're 100% right, Mike. This was completely racist on his part, instantly judged her by the color of her skin.
And I said, I know I am. You can't be a leader of change when you're the harbinger of preconceptions. I said, the two sides are incompatible.
Yep. Now, you ready for our troll to come back and talk to us again? Because here he comes, saving the day. Oh, but real quick, you said...
Oh, yeah. I said, you don't get a pass about some racist bullshit just because you're black. That's not how this works. Either we're all against racism or we're all going to be racist. You have to pick what you want out of this world, man. You're not going to be able to keep one foot out of the pond. It's time to practice what you preach and believe in, or admit that you believe in nothing and you're just the same run-of-the-mill asshole.
I liked that comment. I thought it was poetic. Okay, here we go. Is this the same one?
Yep, keep going.
You still want to go? Oh, I thought that was Tony Parker. Okay. He says, Friedman Gray, if you say that we defend truth, then why did you jump to a conclusion without having facts to back it up? Joke or not, it was still wrong and racist and should be taken down. You are the part of the, solution or part of the problem. That was someone we haven't heard from yet. And another person we haven't heard from yet. Both of you are full of shit. He has free speech rights and it's his page. Get off his effing page if you don't like what he's saying. I wish we could have said that to Tony Parker. But gladly, once he stops spreading racist and hate-filled rants that are only meant to divide. I agree, they're meant to divide. And you said...
I said, isn't it also my free speech rights to say whatever I want, wherever I want? I said, it's not a one-way street here, dumbass.
And there's that cool comic of a black guy saying, you've never been judged by your skin color, to a white guy. And the white guy said, just was. All right. Oh my, will someone please think of the poor oppressed white women? Okay, let's skip to Tony Parker.
Oh, this is so good though, because now he becomes sexist.
Oh, okay. You said...
I said, oh my, will someone please... Or no, that's what he said. I said, are you saying women in this country have not been oppressed? Are you sure you want to go there? And I said, so is it only black women that count in this country now? Did we find ourselves another racist? That's fantastic.
They're just jumping out of the water like fish now.
They are.
Okay, this is my example. No one. Okay, let's just skip this. You say no one is saying problems don't exist on both sides, but blah, blah, blah. I could also post a picture of a cracked out black man and jerking off in public. Does that mean all black men are crackheads? Jerking off in public now. Okay, now I got to go up here to find the Tony, because Tony jumped in on this dude's thread, and he said, I think this is the first one, isn't he? Yeah. It's hard to see. It's hard to see, so I'll read what he says. Ha, 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 ha. All caps. I thought it was a coincidence. Oh, because he had just asked if you were the same Mike Wheeler, and you said yes.
Yep.
Oh my God, that is hilarious. How is that Comic-Con going? He's posting all different, like one sentence lines in all caps. Good to see you match your bigotry with your racism, comes Tony. Canceling that appearance because, like I said, we offered him a signing at the store and he canceled after the dildo comment. Canceling that appearance was one of the best business decisions I have ever made. It would have taken me forever to have erased that mistake. Still, because you posted your conservative opinion, that made that signing a mistake because politics come before comics in this world of nepotism, comic industry, conservative against bias, or bias against conservatives. Still posting memes making fun of those with Down syndrome. I am so screen capping all of this. We are all going to have a laugh. Haha. And he posts a meme laughing. Who's going to have a good laugh? All of his friends?
Him and all his, the whole group,
This is the nepotism coming in right here. And you said, can you read that or should I
Go ahead and read it. I can't read it.
You said, well, Black Lives Matter and a bunch of trans rights groups stalked my cell phone and harassed the hell out of me and my show thanks to assholes like you who are a bunch of biased, racist, inciting hate, shit-talking fascists. So I decided to get into truck driving and made about $325K the next year instead. I see you are still an idiot. You understand it's not just me that you're bullying anymore. And then it cut off to the next one.
It doesn't cut off. Just go into the comments, and the first one, it's screen capped with the whole thing.
Okay, good. This was good. This was interesting here. Are those the comments?
Yeah, just click comments.
Okay.
You have to scroll up to the very top of the comments. But yeah, there it is.
Okay. Oh, gosh, that's tiny, Mike.
Zoom in.
Nope, it doesn't work.
Well, just read it.
It says something like, hey, you know that it's not just Mindy and I that you're bullying anymore. There's half of the country behind us now, and it's not just so easy to call us racist bigots and kick us out of an industry, and we're back here, we're going to stay. And the comics industry, as you know, it is burning to the ground because of this hateful gossip shit you do. One day the karma will bite you in the ass, we told him. Oh, and then I'm Tony. He says, Mike, can't even tag me, you snowflake. You are so fragile. Which is funny because you just saw all those threads he posted about us, but he didn't tag us every time he talked crap about us. So, standards. He says, sucks being held responsible for your actions. You made the hateful statements, then play victim. Never mind all the hateful stuff he just said about us. I didn't do anything. You did it all to yourself. Oh, okay. By the way, the comic industry just broke records last year for sales. We're doing just fine. Better, in fact, without you. Ah, there it is again. There it is again. Okay, go ahead, Mike. Your turn.
So keep telling yourself that. Everyone knows you're full of shit when you say the words white supremacy, white privilege, etc. It's not like you tagged me in all the threads you posted in 2016 anyways, hypocrite. I've got screenshots. You're wasting my time, jackass.
Because I do. You just saw the screenshots. And now he's laughing at us. Oh, go ahead. And there's that one comment at the bottom.
Yep. I said, I hope you do screen capture this and spread it all over the place. Let them know that Mike and Mindy are back in the industry and we're coming for you with good books and conservative values, and you can kiss our ass.
That's right. And then he says, yeah, you said laugh it up, jackass. He posted a link to my Vampirella.
Yeah, and I said, Mindy's a better artist than you'll ever be.
Well, thank you. But again, it's like that competition thing, you know? And he said, now this upset me because I've never heard anyone tell me this before. Mike Wheeler, yet here you are responding. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but I know actual conservative values. Okay. Your bigotry and racism
as a gay man in Portland, I'm sure he does.
And BLM, his Twitter is all Black Lives Matter safe space. Don't forget.
Yeah, I can tell you the conservative values he's familiar with.
Yeah, your bigotry and racism may be full Trump, but not conservative, which is so funny because you don't even like Trump. They don't know any of us. And she say, who'd she copy it off of? After all, that is her pattern. That pissed me off because I don't know what he's talking about, and I'm happy to go over all my pieces and look at the inspirations and the photo references I used. But but I haven't copied anything. I've drawn everything, but there is actually a lot of copying in the industry. Maybe that says something about Tony. Maybe Tony's the copier, because I can't tell you how many other artists I've seen in the industry that lightbox their stuff. They've straight up told me, oh yeah, trace backgrounds, it's fine. Photo reference porn, yeah, just go ahead to trace it. Photo reference to porn, it's fine. I had integrity going into the industry thinking that everything had to be out of my head, and I tried not to use photo references for anything. And I remember going into a room at a sketch party or whatever it was, and all the artists are sitting there doing their photo references. So that's what I intended for the stream, actually, was to go through every single one of my pieces. I think we're going to run into a time issue, but I can do that later. But this was very eye-opening to me, because it tells me now I know why or what they were talking about. Because I knew they were talking smack about me, but I didn't know what. Nobody ever talked to my face, and they just canceled me. They find every single reason to discredit me, and I think my art was a threat, and they discredited me. That was the only reason. That was the only way they could do it. He said, I'll be fine working on God of War, Heavy Metal, and so many other projects actually in the comics industry. Actually in. Like, it's a bad to, be an indie outside of it. He said, it's a small pond, and we all remember you. Oh, the nepotism. It rears its ugly head again. We're not allowed. We're not allowed in. And you read what you said. I got to plug in my computer.
I said, copied it? Pattern? Are you on drugs? Mindy hasn't copied shit in her entire life. And it's a small pond. And you do have to remember, you can't shut us down this time. You'll see us at shows all over the country. Just remember that. Next time you want to talk shit, it's going to be to my face. And then we can deal with what happens after that, kiddo. I said, because I plan on getting in your face.
And just to clarify, this is not a threat. We clarified that earlier, because we know he's a little snowflake. But,
yeah, I don't want to hurt his fragile mind. He's calling me fragile, but apparently he can't take a little man-to-man, conversation, face to face.
No,
and
he
then
can't.
Dealing with the consequences of his actions. He can't handle that.
Yeah, you said here the question is, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I said the question is, what are you going to do when I'm standing in front of your booth in your face with all your little minions watching? Are you going to run away? I guess we'll find out, won't we?
He said, are you trying to intimidate me? By the way, we all remember when she copied multiple pieces, including that Joker Batgirl cover, which that was funny. I thought that first comment boggled me. I thought, what the hell are they talking about? And then
she didn't copy it. It was the Raphael Albuquerque variant that got pulled. DC
it's a tribute.
Social justice. They were too social justice to publish the damn thing. So Mindy's like, you know what? I'm going to take that idea and those poses, and I'm going to redraw it, and I'm going to put it out.
Yeah, because we were fighting against cancel culture, and I'm not the only one who did it. Hey, there were like 35 other people that did it too. It's called fan art.
Yeah.
I never took credit for the actual cover. So I thought that was funny, because that shows how just little his mind is.
It's like, how many times has the ASM 300 been redrawn? It is the most reproduced cover pose on the planet. Every single fucking artist has an ASM 300 variant. Everybody.
Yeah. And if you were to come to my table, I told everybody about that cover. Well, it's in the comments here. You said, that's fan art, you idiot.
Yeah. Everyone and their mother did a copy of that piece. Are you high? And if me getting in your face and asking you to talk shit to my face instead of online is intimidating to you, maybe you should learn how to be a man.
Yeah. And you said?
I said, I'm not physically threatening you or intimidating you in any way. You are harassing me online, and you have a history of harassing me online. I have proof. And harassing Mindy as well.
Yep. And then I really like what came after this conversation. I'm not sure. I know what was at the top of this. It got cut off, I guess. It said this is why the indie industry is booming, and you are losing supporters by the day.
I said, you keep talking shit about Mindy and watch her destroy all of you with her interiors coming out in the next few months. If you all spent more time appreciating artwork instead of talking shit behind artists' backs, she would have been the next Jim Lee of the industry. She still will be. But this time, she won't support the industry that puts money in the pockets of gossiping assholes like you. She's going to do it all by herself. You should be worried. And at every show we're guests at, and when we're on the panels at every show, we're going to make sure that we bring up every bit of this shit and tell everybody what you guys put on us from day one. We're telling everyone what a piece of shit you guys are. Just like she told everyone about the Albuquerque cover. If you stop living in Fantasyland, you know better than to go around talking shit about people who just want good art and good books like your past customers. I said, and don't worry your pretty little head. We'll see you around.
And I think that was about the time he blocked you. I think maybe only got one more comment in. But that was about it. I think he blocked you, didn't he? After that. He did. Yeah, we were blocked. We were blocked. And here, this is funny because look, just look. If he says that I'm a copier, and like I said, I can take you through every single process of every single one of my pieces. And I have method.
Real quick. Let's get to the comments.
Compared to this.
So now I'm glad I never read God of War.
Yeah.
He said, why read God of War? Ram says, why read God of War anyways when you can just play the game? And he said, because I wanted more God of War after playing God of War.
So it's funny because, well, and he's so crazy about copying. It makes me think that he copies because Tony Parker's a really good artist. His art is really good, but it's very photorealistic. It makes me think that maybe he copies if he's projecting that onto me. I've never heard that before until today. But, you know, I'm sure they talked a whole bunch of stuff because we know they were talking about us. I've described it before. We just walked through a show, and then right after the election and during that time when it became outed that we were conservative, we just get cold shoulders. Brian something, another creator we supported, who even gave us like a print at a show saying, thank you, Mike and Mindy, for your support, because we had supported his book. Like out of the blue one day, we walk by him. He walks by my table and he's like this, and he doesn't want to talk to us. And Brian Polito did the same thing. All these people. And it's funny because they're calling me a copier. Look at this. Okay, here's Do You Poo, the Spider-Man variant. Here's Do You Poo, the Walking Dead variant. This is Marat Michaels. Here's Do You Poo, a Rob Liefeld variant. At what point is this not copying? and this isn't even his only one. Oh, here's a Do You Poo Wolverine variant. He does a whole Hardly Thin, and this blew my mind how this could not be like copyright issues with DC, but it's not. So these people, Hardly Thin. She's Harley Quinn, but with a different name. You know, but I'm the copier. You know, I guess I'm the one that doesn't have integrity. But these guys can all hang out with each other, copying each other all that they want. This is totally fine. There's no problem. Oh, look, there's a Harley Quinn spider. The same concept behind my Batgirl 41 piece.
It's an ASM 300 cover swipe.
Yeah, there you go. It's in homage, just like my piece was in homage. The only one that he mentioned that he has any beef over. There's a Harley Thin, the Spawn, Angela swipe. Oh, look, there's people that did. Oh, look, it's a Harley. Oh, my God, it's a Harley Thin Batgirl 41. That's what I was just saying. It's the same thing.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. So the whole thing that he just said today about you being a copier, he really needs to get on the phone with Marat Michaels and call him a fucking bastard, doesn't he?
I guess he does. Actually, he needs to call all these people.
And I'm going to tell you something. Marat is a fucking bastard. He's a weasel, and he's a son of a bitch.
He's one of the ones we gave a lot of money to. Even did a store exclusive for, and he came back and said he couldn't talk to us because he was on Rob's side. Yes, he's the one. And look at all these people that have done the fan art. Oh, hey, look, there's my fan art there, but there's also a bunch. You can go on DeviantArt. Look, they have a Lego fan art right there. There's more fan art. There's 1, 2 right there. There's somebody else doing a swipe on this. There are so many fan arts of the Batgirl 41. See, I'm not the only one. They were everywhere. And if you've ever been to a convention at a show, that's all that people do is fan art. The up and coming artists, that's all that they do all day long, is that they draw things from other people, because that's how they get noticed. That's what you're supposed to do. Look, there's a cosplay cover of that. Oh, these people are all copiers. that's a copier. That's a copier. Oh, look at all these copiers. Ooh, that's a copier. So these people are so full of it. They're so full of themselves because they'll conduct business with Marat and all these other people doing this, but they won't conduct business with us because we supported Trump, or we did. And when it came to Trump and Hillary, I mean, I'm more of a Trump person than Mike is, but we're conservative. That's the only reason. They disagreed with our politics. They put politics first. And talk about copying. Okay, so what's this? What's this? Let's find something here, because I want to know, if that doesn't make sense, how is it that Tyndall's covers are repurposed? Does that not apply?
All of them are repurposed.
Here's a white.
It's like he went to school with a really good artist, and he found this really good artist sketchbook. And he takes this really good artist sketchbook, and he traces all of it and just does it over and over again and just changes out the costumes.
Look,
it's wild.
It's the Wonder Woman. It's a White Widow.
What? Oh, man. I bet you could put those up to a fucking light box?
Oh, look, there's a cover, a Swiver Swipe.
Oh, that's a Spider-Man #1 cover swipe.
It is. So I'm very confused at what standard I'm supposed to be held to. The standards are apparently different for me. And it really bothered me because I saw some covers of Tyndall's that like people paid for, like as a brand new cover. Hey, look, there's my colors that I never got credit for. And like, but it was the same art. Hey, look, there's another artist that colored it too, because Jamie Tyndall probably gave him the colors, but it wasn't good enough, so he didn't publish it. But he still doesn't have a signature on there. There's many. If you look, it's the same cover over and over again. So at what point, here, look, there's one. There's a second one I just saw. Oh, that might be slightly different. But if you look, you can find it was a Lady Death one and a something else. And the Lady Death Tyndall was the exact same Tyndall that I've seen. I'm very confused. So I'm not totally trying to rag here on Jamie, but I want to know what standard Marat and Jamie and these other artists are held to that I'm held to a different standard. That's what I want to know. Yeah. It was on here somewhere. It was an exclusive. Oh, this one. I think it was this one that I had seen it before. Same cover. Just got to do some digging around and you'll find the same covers. Now I'm into Lady Death stuff.
Yeah, he takes about, it's about every 5 or 6. he'll put about 5 or 6 out, and then he'll put the same one out again with a different costume.
Very confused at what standard is copying and what standard is not copying.
And this is the same guy. I said, you know what? I'll give you $1,500 to draw something in front of me right now, and he wouldn't do it.
Well, oh, there it was. I just saw the steampunk version of that one, and that's now Spider-Girl. But he has made an effort, I've noticed, the past year or so to draw in front of camera.
After 5 years of tracing, you've probably gotten all right with line placement.
See, there's one. See, like that and that. It's the same art. So yeah, I guess you can repurpose your own art. That's a little different, but still, at what point is mine copying? I'll give you an example. Tequila. Here's a photo reference I used, and a lot of stuff I just came out of my head. Like there is no photo reference for it, but there's maybe like 3 or 4 pieces that have similarities. Was it Tequila with a sword was the reference I used for my Psylocke piece, but you'll see I even changed the pose. There, see, she's there. I used this reference photo when drawing my Psylocke, if I can find a full one of it. It's around here, but I used her knees and her little arm and her torso there. But I also changed the position of her feet, her arms, her head. And so that was my photo reference. And that was one of the ones I've seen closest. Oh gosh, now I'm just not finding anything I want to today. Can I stop sharing my screen now, Mike? Oh, wait, yeah. Before I do that real quick, I noticed tonight that my name got taken off of this book. Um, it's now called the remastered version, and now I have no credit for this cover that I did with an old publisher. If you go to Divinica and shop now, this was the cover I did color Dawn McTeague pencils, and my name is under there, my signature. But apparently they just didn't like having me on the book because it was selling just fine. It's been a long time since we've done that. They went in and actually remastered it. And it was my idea. I had the white and gold dress already in the file. So I see that they took that and used that. But here now, see, it's a remastered version, now colored by Dawn, and it's different colors. Although I do see that some things might have been repurposed, maybe not. Maybe Dawn colored this all on her own. If that's the case, my signature is now gone, and I am not credited on the book anymore on their website. See, no credits, no credits. It's gone. It's off. So I am credited on different websites for having credit for doing the colors in this book because I did do the colors on this cover. But I caught that today, and it's funny how I'm just being slowly erased. You know, I'm gonna try to stop sharing my screen. Okay, what did I do with the inventory of the vodka? Okay. So, and Vampirella was, you know, not copied on anything at all. I do look at swimsuit models from time to time. There was a swimsuit model I looked at for drawing the body, but like, I just don't understand. You can use photo references. I made her a Vampirella, and I made the piece. And I was even watching videos today of people who have copied in the past in comics. And there were examples, I don't know if you could see, but like people of this one YouTube video, this guy going through the different examples, that's the same exact picture. And none of mine at all are the picture. So, I mean, I've changed everything about anything I've ever used references for. So I'm confused. I'm confused where the line is drawn, but I think what they're doing is just finding something to discredit me. And of course, you know, that's a little sad. And I see this, poses cannot be stolen. Poses are not copyright. Ideas can be, but poses cannot be claimed. I'm sorry, but poses cannot be stolen. These are all these people commenting that you can't copyright a pose. So the fact that you might use a model, like a swimsuit model, Victoria's Secret model, whatever, porn, as the Zenescope artist suggested for me to use as photo references, you can't copyright that. So, I mean, and honestly, most of the poses I just drew. I didn't even use an exact pose or change the pose. So yeah, I invite anybody to challenge that. I did draw a cosplay. It was like a cosplay chick, and I found a photo I had on my computer forever. This was like back when I first started drawing again several years ago. And I did an art exercise as a character concept. She wasn't like sold. It wasn't a wide production or anything like that. I took the piece to me to some shows to show, but it was more like a conversation point. It didn't go anywhere. I wasn't serious about it. And I didn't copy it anyways. I drew it with a grid technique. If you're an artist, you know the grid technique. And I spent hours and hours making this realistic because I was trying to find my style and I was designing a character, and I used a cosplay photo for reference, but I changed the costume, I changed the hair, I gave her wings, and I redid it. That's the closest thing I've done to copying anything. And I remember Rich Johnson sent me like this threatening message, or Mike did at one point, and said, Mindy copies. And he had that photo. And like, I don't even advertise that photo. Like I said, it was just a character concept design. But I guess that's the thing that they're going to try to attack me about. So be prepared, people. You know, if my channel takes off, that they're going to start saying shit like that. But again, you're welcome to challenge any of this. Like, this is... And Zenescope gives you pictures of models to copy. They say, make it look exactly like this. We want you to copy this photo. So like, there was a model that looked like this one Zenescope piece that they gave me. Zenescope is all like that. But I actually deviated and I didn't draw the pose they wanted me to. And I made it my own for a different piece, which they said, don't do that.
And then they gave you like a shitload of money for doing it and said it was fantastic.
Well, it wasn't a shitload of money. I wouldn't say a shitload of money comes from Zenescope very often to people like me, but they did like it. Yeah, they did like it. All right, let's try to read some comments here. We've been on here for a long time, an hour and 40 minutes. People who project, usually it's the mirror on themselves. I know. So when Tony Parker said copied, it makes me think that maybe he's the copier. Because seriously, I've never heard that before. Every Sony or any video game company in general makes a comic book companion. Oh, I see. Yes. Which is whatever. Okay, we're talking about Sony. Is the cover where Batgirl takes a selfie? Does she shoot herself in the spine? Oh, in the cover where Batgirl takes a selfie, does she shoot herself in the spine? I'm not sure.
No.
Oh, I know what he's talking about, sort of.
No.
Yeah, I'm particularly
being facetious.
Oh. Yeah, I'm particularly guilty for the Lightbox piece. Saw a fun Harley Quinn pose and copied it for my original character inspired by Dr. Frankenstein and Vampirella. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to draw from reference, especially when it comes to character design. That's what I was doing too. But even still, I didn't Lightbox it. You can see that I've got all these erase marks and the grid lines on there. I liked Tyndall. I feel a little attacked. I'm sorry, Arrow. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I colored a piece for him for free, and then he took my signature off of it. So he's part of that whole like group of people that really don't like us for no reason at all other than we're conservatives, I guess. And, you know, we're racist, bigots, Nazis, elitists. What else? I know. Oh, copier, scammers, whatever they can think of to discredit us. The remastered version, remastered, all they did was remove your name. That's a demaster. Well, you can tell the colors are slightly different, but I have a hard time believing that that was 100% colored again from scratch. Like every single paintbrush mark was new. I have a hard time believing that. There was oh gosh, that publisher was a mess. I never understood claiming artists that use references are copying. I never understood it either. It sounds like something that people just complain about.
Oh my God! Hey, let's get it all out there.
No.
Oh yeah, let's talk about Rothick a little bit. Let's talk about J.P. Roth being on the phone with you with Ebass puking his brains out from being too drunk and high on heroin. Let's talk about that.
Well, I have to state for legal purposes that this is all in my opinion. And my perspective point of view, because you don't want to get into libel. That's one of the reasons I don't talk about publishers very much or name people. But anything I do ever mention is anything I have proof to. And what I have proof to that I can attest is that JP Roth was very upset about all of the stuff you were posting online, Mike. Mainly that, you know, it was like that we were supporting Trump. It was before the election even, I think, but it was just conservative values. And she said you were offending people and that you weren't allowed in the shows, but I was. And I said, that's kind of a problem. And she would call me for like an hour or two at a time saying that, that I needed to tell you to not talk or something.
Even though everyone was attacking me.
Yeah, first. Yeah, and you were defending yourself mostly. But, you know, that was part of the blacklisting. That was part of it. They were saying, Dawn said, you know, you're blacklisted. Ebass said, I will blacklist you. I will make sure that you never get work. And that's all and something that I can prove. I have the screenshots of both of them saying that. Yeah. I felt very attacked by Ebass, especially. He came off really strong because I had gotten into an argument with JP Roth. I felt that she was being dishonest and I called her out on it. And I thought it was also ridiculous that she gave two fucks about promoting my art or nurturing me as an artist as much as she cared about what you said on Facebook. Mike, offending people. It was just the whole social justice environment at the time, cancel culture. And we were getting canceled, you know. But yeah, Ebass came on very strong. He said, you ruined my career and that because I thought JP Roth was dishonest, I called her a liar. She said because I called her a liar that he was going to go out of his way to blacklist me in the industry and make sure I never got work. Yeah, that sucked. They obviously still don't like me. They remastered my version and took my signature off, so whatever. And Jamie Tyndall did the same. He doesn't have my signature on the piece I colored for him either. So there's like a weird cancel culture that's still happening where people don't want to associate with me. Yeah. Most artists, and by the way, like, I will just say it's really hard to get anything done for a publisher when it's 10 days till Diamond deadline and there's not even a script. That's the professional level of professionalism that was happening at the time with that publisher. That's not at all how I would run my publishing company.
And then they hire Colette Turner, who couldn't even draw backgrounds.
Yeah, I was expected at some point to paint the backgrounds in because there were none drawn. And then they changed it. They did add backgrounds, and I had to recolor it like 3 times because there was no background. So I started painting the background, and then they added a background, and then they added fire or something like that. So I had to go in again and color the candlelight. And I kept asking her, "Is there a deadline? Is there a deadline? Is there a deadline?" And she'd just go, "Oh no, whenever you want, whenever you want." So whenever you want meant whenever I wanted, I guess. I wanted a deadline, but then she came back later and said that I was slow after having to recolor the piece 3 times. And after never having an actual deadline. So how is it possible that I would be slow when I never had a deadline? What's the standard, again, that I'm being held to? Yeah, that pissed me off. I didn't even list the other cover. I did 2 covers. I did another Divinica cover. I colored the different version too, the naughty version, the regular version, and another version of it. But I don't even list it for sale because honestly, it doesn't sell. It's never sold. I've never, ever been able to sell that cover. Every time I've had it on my table. It's really pretty, but it's just not the right market. People just aren't interested in the art. It's just totally not sellable. And it's a shame because it's really pretty, but yeah. So that was that. Most artists don't draw straight from their imagination. They sell those creep wooden dolls specifically for reference. And that's what I thought when I first went into the industry. I thought it was really hard because I had actually just taken a break from drawing for several years. So I was really rusty and I thought, oh, well, I have to do it out of my head every time. And I was trying to do it out of my head every time. And then I went, screw this. I'm going to go full photo reference for a while and just reteach myself how to draw. And that's when I did the angel piece, which is the character design, because I was actually drawing parts of Karma. My book Karma, I was thinking of at the time, it was a much different story and it wasn't as family friendly for sure. It is family friendly now. I've changed it a lot, but I was working on it then. And I guess I'm getting attacked for being a newbie artist, which is just stupid. And I would go around and ask people like, hey, what's the proper thing to do? What do I do in the comic industry? How do I do this? I talked to everybody about it. Jason Metcalf was a nice person. He's always been very nice. I did color a piece for him as well. And he's been nothing but good to me. I don't think there's any ill will there. I don't talk to him anymore. But he's like pretty much the only one. Him and Mike DeBalfo gave me some good advice. It was really extremely hard to find people who were willing to talk to me to give me any advice. Obviously, they didn't even talk to me about the problems they were having with me like adults. They all gossiped behind my back because they were biased against my conservative beliefs, and that came above my art. So it was really hard to know what to do, the proper way to do it, this and that, this and that. I expressed on the stream last night I did that I told Jimmy Palmiotti, I said, I'm very confused in this industry because I don't know how to climb the ladder. It's like, how do I get another job? Like, what am I supposed to do? And then it makes sense now. It's nepotism. Oh, your friends hire you based on their friend being your friend and your political views. That's how the industry works. Oh, it makes sense now. But I was trying to figure that out because it just didn't seem right. It seemed like I saw other people getting jobs that I wasn't. Like, for example, that girl who didn't draw backgrounds and I was painting her backgrounds in. Like, that's not my job, but she got the job because she had a lot of Instagram followers is what I thought, in my opinion, that's what it was. Yeah, I don't recommend rocking the boat, just success, and let your work stand for itself. Your fans will protect you. Thank you. And yeah, this is just a vent stream because, this is the first time we've seen an old troll for a couple years, but I imagine
I wanted to get ahead of it, because I guarantee you by tomorrow, everybody's going to be all the screen captures and everything from me talking shit to Tony. It's going to go everywhere. So I wanted to get ahead of it, and I wanted to just show everybody what you're going to see. and who you're dealing with. And these are the cocksuckers you're dealing with. One of them, literally. Cocksucker, that is.
Yeah, I mean, they really, but it might get worse too because, my books will come out and they're probably not going to say anything to me, to my face, because that's not what they do. Tony Parker blocked me on Twitter, but they might talk really bad behind my back, and start lying again and
I'd say
harassing us.
tomorrow morning on Bleeding Cool, Mike called Tony Parker a cocksucker. It's coming.
But here's the thing that this whole issue is about is like, do I care? Do I care? And it used to be scary. It used to make me intimidated because I was the only one, and they all really attacked me. So that was definitely a very effective way to shut me down and get me out of the industry and get rid of me. And to have a majority leftist controlled industry, because that's what they do to people who are conservatives. But now I think that there's a way different environment. You guys are here. I do have fans that will protect me. So I don't even think rocking the boat is really necessary. I thought this honesty was necessary. But going forward, I really don't care what they say. And I think we're better this time around. We won't let it get to us as much. It was a little stressful today because, just getting back into that, knowing there's those people out there again that are just so nasty, and seeing them again sucked. I had like a little PTSD moment for a second there. I went, no, Mike, no, don't talk to him. Because it was very traumatic. It's like going through a traumatic experience, but it's cool this time around. I don't care. So it is about books. What's the cover? The other cover I did was
that was a question he asked when you were talking about what cover didn't sell.
Yes, that's the Divinica cover. It's
that's the weird Egyptian lady that she colored.
That Egyptian, yeah, it was like issue number 3 of Divinica by Rothic Comics. But the cover that didn't sell, the ISIS one, I've never seen sell either. But this one in particular, like I couldn't even get anybody interested in it, even just the slightest interested in it. And it was this one. Oh, they did do a pot leaf variant though. So, they remastered mine to get my colors out, but they did do a pot leaf. It's this cover. That's the naughty version. Oh, I can't. Oh, they're selling the metal naughty version. I can't show that one. It's got too many. Oh, there it is. I'll try to hide the naughty version. So there's naughty version and there's these two. It's the Aphrodite variant with her on a shell. And I have not been able to sell it to save my life. But I colored really pretty in there. I did a good job. I think I colored that shell. If you look at it, I mean, it's really detailed. It's really realistic. And the dress. And then there's a naughty variant, but never sold it. It really isn't disgusting at all. Oh, the wooden doll, I think. You can buy all sorts of wigs for the mini woman or man. That's funny. Well, I won't see because I'm not down for the comic book politics. If there's an artist I like, I will support at the end of the day. It should be about the work. Yes. That looks nice. I don't see why not. I don't know. I don't know either. Maybe I think it was just too feminine. Honestly, it's just a very feminine piece. And I never could get people to buy it, to spend money on it. It's Dawn McTee's pencils. It's my colors. I could never get it to it. And Sabine Rich, she taught me a lot about coloring in that process.
Now, you know what? You know what I'm going to do? We're going to open up StreamYard to anybody. Mindy, paste the link to get in here on the chat.
Okay.
Anybody that wants to come in and talk to us, ask us questions, feel free to hop on.
Yeah, this is sort of a weird midweek broadcast where we just had to get this off our chest. But really, I think our books will do really well this year. We're seeing a lot of success already. So that's good advice, Mike. We got to remember to stay in the positive and not worry so much about these biased people, because I think
I'm not worried about it. I just want to come up here and expose these bastards for who they are.
They are very nasty, aren't they? Yeah.
They are.
And they hate us because we're offensive.
I can show them offensive.
Oh yeah, I missed the point. I know it cut off. You said to Tony Parker, like, "Hey, we had missed this comment right before he blocked you." You said, "If you don't want me to talk to you at a con, that's fine. I'll respect your space if you don't want to talk. But let's clarify this right now. Do you just want to talk about me behind my back, and that's it, or just say it now? Are you gonna just only talk about me behind my back, or?" You want to talk to me face to face, because that's why you're talking right now, right? It's because you want to talk about me. So venting isn't bad. Yeah, there. No, we needed to vent. We had a stressful day. And then on top of it, all those technical issues we had when we tried to stream, we were both kind of fuming. I'm getting tired. I think it's bullshit, though. All this the copying. Okay, so I'll tell you the pieces that I did find some similarities. There was a similarity in this piece to a Lady Death Dawn costume, and it's an entirely different piece. And that's the whole, like, you're not copying, is because you make it a whole different piece. There's only like 3 pieces of mine that I can say that there's a similarity. Everything else is totally out of my head. And I don't even know what to tell you because I don't even have any photo references. And that was kind of a coincidence because I had collaged. I spent 60 hours on this piece, and I had collaged a bunch of pieces as photo references that I liked. And I had just clipped like little cropped versions, and I ended up doing too many, I think, of Dawn's. I didn't realize it was the same piece. So there's a little similarities here in the just in the design of the costume, where she's got like the things dripping down, just the little chains and stuff like that, But I mean, every creator does, like, when you do a variant, you're supposed to do costume versions, and this is an entirely different piece, look and feel. And it's not like those chains are special. They're just like belly dancing jewelry, and I did take belly dancing a long time ago, so that's probably why it clicked. But like, I still don't see that as copying, but I did notice that similarity after the fact, and I was like, oh, well, there is some similarities there in that costume. I can see that. But again, entirely different piece. And I talked to Dawn. Dawn was cool with me. We got along really great until I got blacklisted. All of these are totally out of my head. I used an Audrey Hepburn-ish reference for the Catwoman's face, but the bodies of all of these are original. I mean, and I took for inspiration. There's a Greg Horn piece like this, but there's also, like, this is an iconic-ish kind of pose. Jamie Tyndall did it too. I've seen lots of people have done the Harley Quinn leaning on the Joker that way. I made sure mine wasn't copying. It's different, but I wanted to do my own kind of version of them together in that similar pose. But it's not a copy off of anybody's work. That was in tribute to fight cancel culture, and I told everybody about that. And there are like 25, 30 other pieces that are like, there's no other. One other piece was Batwoman. I drew the statue of Batwoman as reference for her head and her hands, but I did change her legs and her hair and things like that. So it's a little similar to the statue, but that was meant to, like, that was intentional. I was drawing the statue, and that was a very, very, very early piece too. Around the same time I did the Angel, I wasn't sure how to do things right, but that's it, man. That's it. Like, they ain't got shit on me. So I think the comic book just didn't sell since it's published by an obscure company and the cover isn't dynamic. She's just posting there. Posing. Posing is fine for well-known characters, not obscure comics. Hey, that's a really good observation. I got a lot of bad reviews, actually, not my work, but that the insides of those comics were total crap. I would, because they were my work and I was working for the publisher, I pushed it in our shop, and a lot of customers came back and said, like, hey, look, Mindy, I love your work, but this comic was terrible. Yeah. So, and it doesn't surprise me because, like I said, the internal structure of that company was like, true story. Hey, there's 10 days until Diamond needs our deadline, and I don't even have a script for this issue. So let's just throw something out on the page.
Well, I guess nobody's going to come on the stream.
Yeah, I think maybe we need to go to bed anyways. It's getting really late. My voice is even getting hoarse.
All right.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed our vent session. I feel better now that we got that out, though. Now I don't feel as stressed. It's off my chest. What about you, Mike? You feel better?
Not really.
I do.
I still want to slap him upside his head.
Well, then it's funny how they were talking about physically assaulting us in that thread, too.
Yeah.
These people, I'll punch them in their ass hat faces or whatever they said. I'll beat their ass.
Like I said, I've always said this. I'm not hard to find. You know, when I'm in this comics game, I am at every single major show in the country. I'm there all weekend. The only thing that's stopping you is fear and opportunity. You just got to ask yourself which one you want to get over first.
It's good you have fans now, not just your husband.
I'm 6'6", 300 pounds, ex-Marine. Try me.
They're too afraid. I can't tell you how many people have threatened to punch you. Hey, we got someone on the stream, and then they run away. It's happened. Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. That's cool to have you here. Welcome.
Yeah, cool to be. Thanks for having me. I just wanted to get on here and say, don't feed the trolls.
Oh, shit. God damn it, man.
Yeah, we shouldn't.
What's that?
I said I think there's signs at the zoo about that. You're not supposed to feed the trolls.
No, you're not. No.
That's good advice. And I think we fed the trolls too much when we were going through the whole Comic-Con bashing.
Hey, I'm a racist and I got a black dude on my stream. You better watch out.
I gotta go. Man, I can't hang out with racists. You know?
Yeah, it's pretty silly.
Wait, anyway, changing. Since I'm gonna take over the stream now, how about when are you gonna release information about Karma?
Oh, soon, man. It's the project I keep kind of putting off because I've been getting other work first, and that pays the bills. You know, Karma doesn't pay the bills right now,
right?
But and it's something that because of experiences like this, I really just want to blow people out of the water and make it the best. Because this dude, Tony Parker, he's a good artist, and now I've got to be better than him.
Wow, man. You're close already. I can't picture. Was that his all his Spider-Woman stuff?
I don't know. Well, I can't see now because he's blocked me, but it's a lot of like inks, black and white ink stuff, and he's pretty good. But I mean, he's a total jerk. So I'm trying to be motivated to be like, for even him to not have an excuse to say she sucks, you know? And now I have to be even more careful not to use photo references because then they're going to say I copy. So it's going slow, but soon in the next couple weeks, I'll be starting to release some information.
Mindy's probably going to kill me, but like she's got some original art up here on the wall from some of the characters.
All right, show him. You want to see Karma characters? Here are some of them.
Okay.
That's he's a pirate looking dude, 17th century. You're not showing it very well, Mike.
Right. A little glad. This is all ages. This is an all ages book.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it's all ages. And I'll just say I'll release a little Easter egg, I suppose. I made the 7 deadly sins into each a character.
Okay.
Like they're kind of trapped in a body. They're like the embodiment of that sin. And so I've been drawing them one piece at a time. Show them the other ones, Mike, but try to show them without the glare.
It's too hard. I can't.
Okay, fine.
Hang on. I'll bring them to you. And you can use your camera because it's way better.
It takes place. It starts out in the 17th, or sorry, it would be the 1600s in Salem, Massachusetts, and the main character Karma is convicted of witchcraft and accused to, burn or drown as a witch. Right. And she falls into like the afterlife, and I can't give too much information away, but then it's sort of, the story takes place in like a limbo world called the Netherworld, and there are these characters that have been alive there for thousands of years in some cases, and it's a really kooky world. It's like something out of a Jim Henson book too, where you see people that are all these kooky trolls or weird, almost werewolf-looking, funky creatures, and you meet the sins. But it's a very morally based, like all about right and wrong kind of thing, all about what makes people throughout history. And all these characters, they have history. She's based in Egypt.
Right.
She's Envy, if you want to name her sin, although her name isn't Envy, but that is like her embodiment. She's got like a Medusa thing going on. And this is a picture of her back in the Greek Dark Ages with little elephant tusks. I'm a big history buff, so if you know the story of Carthage and the elephants and Hannibal climbing the Himalayan mountains in that. And then the last one I have here is, this would be my pirate guy.
Wow. So
holding a cool glowing orb that you'll find out about. So you'll see, that's my little tidbit.
Does that make sense? Awesome. Yeah, very. I know. It's, and then these are going to be coming out. You said you're starting a publishing company too?
Yes, we are.
That's crazy. So, and when is that? I mean, your books are coming out through that?
I've already got one about half wrote, and the other one is going to be her book, Karma.
Okay. So you write too? You write?
Yes.
Okay.
We all write. Both of us write, really, now.
Right. Yeah, that's fast. Is Mike? Are you on Twitter, Mike?
Yeah, the Shy Outlaw.
The Shy Outlaw. All right.
And CHI because of
Shy,
Chicago.
like Chicago.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I'll post your Twitter handle here.
I live in Chicago, but I'm also racist.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
You're so racist.
Were you one of the guys who attacked Jesse?
Yeah, Jesse James?
Smollett.
No.
No.
I don't know who that is.
Jesse Smollett, that's the guy who faked the hate crime.
Yeah, he faked it.
There was like two Nigerian dudes.
He was underneath the L, and he got attacked by some white supremacist dudes because there's a lot of white guys in South Chicago at about midnight.
Oh, jeez. My goodness. We used to deliver pizza at like 1 a.m. in the ghetto of what they call it in Phoenix, where all the gunshots and stuff go on.
Yeah, South Side, Little Mexico.
But we never got bothered. I mean, we didn't even really see anything. I think it's really, really just gang related. All the violence. It's not. Yeah, and people get caught up in the middle of it, but they're not. It doesn't bother you really.
It doesn't matter who you are, man. If you go out there looking for trouble, you're gonna find it.
Exactly.
If you're at home, nobody's gonna mess with you.
In the case of that little girl, though, the bullet went through her house. That was extremely sad.
When I see shit like that shit just pisses me off. It really does, because I mean, it could be solved, and all it takes is the city getting together and going up to the elected officials and saying, "Hey, we ain't gonna tolerate this shit no more. We're gonna call in the National Guard, and we're gonna kick in doors, and we're gonna take these guns from people that ain't supposed to have guns, because there's nothing but illegal weapons down there in the South Side. Ain't nobody that's got a gun in the South Side has the gun registered in their name."
Right.
All it would take is to get the National Guard down there for 3 days, kick in doors, take all the guns, and say, "Hey, guess what? If it is your gun and it is registered to you, come down to the station and we'll give it right back."
Yeah. Yeah, but I live in Baltimore City, so it's basically the same.
It's the same thing in Baltimore, man. It's not worse. It's not worse.
Yeah.
Baltimore is where again? It's
Maryland,
by DC.
East Coast.
It's in Maryland.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Maryland. I can't believe I forgot that for a second. Yeah, it's crazy over there. Oh man, but more when I say that, I think of really tiny roads and how semi trucks don't fit on them.
Yeah.
I can't picture. I can picture him being a trucker. I can't picture Mindy being a trucker.
Oh man, she was a boss.
I was a boss.
In the snow with the best of them.
All right.
Oh, thanks. Thanks to hear that. Now, I got a video of me releasing the hood of the truck, but I'm little and it's too big, so I have to like climb up there, and I have to use my whole body weight to like lean it back. We've even seen like there's this little Chinese lady. She was so tiny, and she's because you go through the snow and the salt gets all over the truck and you can't see, so you have to get out and windshield wipe it. But it's so tall, so she had climbed up and she was standing on the front tire of the truck. It was a sight to see. She's like, "Come here, rolling windshield." Even really tiny people can be truck drivers. Even some women too. But yeah, I know. Weird.
Well, anyway, thanks for having me. I'm gonna sign off.
Okay. Hey, you're awesome. Thank you for like just all your support and talking to us all the time. You totally rock.
No, thanks, y'all. I mean, y'all provide the platform. It's y'all are doing good work.
Thank you.
Cool, appreciate that.
No problem. Take it easy.
All right, take it easy.
All right.
All right, bye. All right, we'll wrap it up here. Run comment from Rams. When you start working to release Karma, I highly recommend to get in touch with Doug Tenapple on Facebook. He can help you promote the book. He's not a part of Comicsgate. They tried to cancel him. I know Doug. I went on his show back in November 2018. He was the first show I went on ever. Was his show. He invited me, and that was even a little weird because Comicsgate is all about the YouTube streams. And I had just announced like, hey, Comicsgate, the comic industry sucks. And they all flocked to me. But I was totally new. I didn't know all that was going on. And I got a bunch of invites like, hey, will you come on my stream? And I didn't know what to do. I was a little bit scared to go on to talk to people because I knew how weird sometimes people in comics were, how gossipy, how nasty, but I guess I was right. But I said like yes to some other guy. And then I said yes to like 3 people. Hey, okay, I'll go on your streams. And then I told the other 2 people, oh, cool. Well, I'm going on Doug's first because we scheduled it first. And then the other 2 people got really weird about it. And they said, oh, well, then you can't be on my stream anymore. I don't want you anymore. Or they made it. That was what one guy said. The other guy said is, oh, well, yeah, it's just not going to work out anymore. Sorry. Because I was going on Doug's first. I thought that was weird. Either they wanted to like break the story or they had something against Doug or whatever. I know he had a falling out, but yeah, I know Doug. That would be great if he could promote Karma. It is getting late. Sorry, guys. Well, in New York, all the white folks making things better, so I'm glad it's safer. All the white folks making things better. Oh, my goodness. There was a great video I watched today of Candace Owens, and she told these people, she told them about, because people were saying, oh, well, whites aren't the ones in the streets rioting because they control the media and they're rich. And she just destroyed whoever said that. It was awesome. She said, go out and get a job.
I love Candace Owens, man. She's my girl.
She's a spark. She's just awesome. Oh, hey, Arrow says, to add to the folks you know, I'm Hispanic, so you got that too. What are we collecting people now? We should all just wear big stickers.
We're collecting racists. We're collecting racists.
It's so silly. God, I think it's so weird to even talk about someone's skin color. I get awkward even just like talking about it a little bit because I don't think it should matter. But hey, by the way, he says it's good that you have fans now, not just your husband, that you can vent to, but keep doing good work. Yes, I liked that comment. And keep all your receipts because that's how you solve the drama. It's 1:30 a.m. Too late for Rams to join the chat. I think it's time for us to all go to bed. So thank you guys for joining us in this stream. Keep in mind, I'm Hispanic. I know what I see. Well, we're white. I'm sorry. I'm white. If we want to go into it, Mike has got German in him, and I am Canadian Scottish. My roots go back to Scottish and in the UK. So
yeah, so I could actually be a Nazi, if I wanted to. I think I could be a part. I could pass the blood test, if there was one.
Well, Dominicans get no love, DX Mexicans and Puerto Ricans, but I don't ever complain. Oh man, I remember going to Florida, and I've never seen people, the Puerto Ricans that come up Puerto Rico, and they speak in Puerto Rican. I've never seen that before. It was so weird. When we went to Florida, I thought, wow, oh my gosh, I've never been around that before. There were so many. It's so cool going all over the country and seeing the different demographics of people. But yeah, I'm Canadian. Can't
speak Puerto Rican, you crazy. They speak Spanish.
Oh, well, okay. See, I'm dumb. Sorry. We also noticed a high level of people driving their cars into things and being retarded in Florida. Not saying that they're all Puerto Rican, but I mean,
in Arizona, they go up the ramps backwards the wrong way.
People drive terribly in Florida. They drive terribly in Arizona and California. But Florida, you remember how crazy they get down those long freeways? Yeah. And New York. Oh, they drive crazy in New York, too. And Connecticut, Massachusetts. Well, I know. I got that Canadian pride. It's funny because my ancestors didn't even own slaves, if we really want to get technical about it. Yeah. And my ancestors, the Canadian ancestors, I looked into it, I believe were actually conservative. So there was a conservative judge or something like that in my family line. So I'm confused how my family went from conservative to democratic, because they're very, very democratic, very left. And
my ancestors owned slaves.
I'm sure they did. In America?
Mine did. Yeah, here in America. Remember, I'm related to the Confederate president, Jefferson Davis.
You're also related to Abraham Lincoln.
I am, yes. Yep.
Yes. So your genetics will have to fight.
Yep.
I think that's cool that you're related to Abraham Lincoln. It makes sense why you're so tall with the big hands.
Benjamin Harrison, he was my great-great-great-grandfather.
You're starting to cut up a little bit. I thought it was William Henderson or something.
No, I think it's Benjamin Henderson. And his statue is right here in Indianapolis, downtown. Remember? We went there. We took a picture in front of it.
Yeah. On the flip side, my ancestors helped create the Canadian government. There's like a founding fathers picture for Canada, and there's like 2 or 3 people I'm related to in that photo that are my direct ancestors. So I was up there in the frosty hat doing the things.
And then that's on my mother. That's on my dad, or my mother's dad's side. My mother's side, that was all the Germans. And the Germans, the ancestors of the Germans, they were basically slaves of the Romans. So my ancestors were slaves by the Roman Empire, and then they owned slaves, and now we lost the slaves. So it's a weird progression. I don't know, like there's like some slavery, and then I was a slave, but I wasn't a slave. I don't know what I identify with now.
I don't know. It's confusing if we go back that far.
It's so confusing.
The people that talk about this stuff, they just only want to go back 200 years. That's it. Then it ends there. There's no more talk.
Oh, no. You got to go back way, way back. Like, I mean, my ancestors were dying in the gladiator pits of the Roman Empire. So, I mean.
That explains a lot, Mike.
Yeah.
Spanish has different levels of Spanish. Like, Spain is proper Spanish. And they have a hood Spanish. Mexican Spanish is more relaxed. like a high F, high as fuck. I don't know what AF means, but yes. And Spain Spanish has similarities with French, I think. I remember trying to
No,
learn it.
it's different pronunciations. For example, in Mexico they say mijo or mija. That's son or daughter. In Spain Spanish, it's mi hijo, mi hija. So it's just different enunciations on certain words. It's a little bit closer to Italian.
Ramson, that's because Doug TenNapple pissed off Ethan Van Sciver by saying his Cyberfrog book isn't very well written. Well, according to Ethan in Ethanland, he thinks that he has the next Harry Potter on his hands with Cyberfrog. That's what I heard down the chain recently, which I think is ridiculous. But, you know. All right, I'm tired. I'm falling asleep, guys. Yes, you guys are great. Thanks for letting us vent. And I'm sorry that we vented, but I'm not sorry at the same time. All right, guys, cool. We'll talk to you later on Monday. Mike and Mindy Monday. That's right. That's what Mike says.